You've done so much work in therapy and on yourself. You're so close to being fully recovered from anxiety, but there's just something missing. If that's you, I know where you're at, because I would say probably 90% of my clients feel this way. Now, what's really cool is I specialize in people who have phobias and traumas specifically, where they're like, every other area of my life I'm starting to do well in. The anxiety's gone from like 90% of the other areas of my life. But this one thing I cannot get past. Let me tell you why you haven't gotten past it. Doing the supplements and the nutrition and the exercising and the positive affirmations and the exposure therapy and chatting about it, like talking about it, right? That's not going to help you get past this last piece. And here's the reason. Your nervous system has made a neurological connection between your mind and body. I literally pointed at the wrong places. Let me restart that. Between your mind and body, okay, with your nervous system, where it's made the connection, where your body has the anxiety, your body feels afraid, and your mind has the thought of the plane, of getting into the car, of getting into the relationship, of going outside, of getting into the mall, whatever it might be, having sex, right? Getting on a sales call, doing whatever it might be in your life. But your mind has the idea, has the picture in its mind, and your body just remembers feelings. It remembers the one time where you did this thing and you had a fucking panic attack, and now every time you think about it, your body goes, it's happening again, when it's not. And instead of just like trying to, persisting and doing exposure therapy, because that won't work, that's why you're listening to this video right now. What we really have to do is literally like sever, like break the connection, that neural connection from the feelings to the idea in your mind. And when we do that, all lasting relief literally happens in that moment. So here's what's interesting about this. It is not going to happen slowly. So let me just tell you right now, if you're seeing a therapist or counselor, psychiatrist, anything of that nature, and you feel like it's slowly making progress, that's just because some days you feel pretty good, some days you feel a little less good, but when it actually works for you, when you actually have that relief, it happens in a moment. Because all we have to do is break the neural connection, the emotional association to that idea in your mind, and then create a new association from your body to your mind. So let me give you a metaphorical example of how this works, then we'll actually go into doing it, because why not just give you all the value right now? I don't want there to be this gateway of information like all the other people marketing to you. I want to just give you the value, and if you want, share this video with someone else who needs it. So here's the thing. If you're as old as me, I'm 28, okay? If you're older than me, if you're younger than me, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're younger, if you are older than me, you probably would understand the CD metaphor. If I have a CD and I want to play a new CD, I can't just put a CD on top of it, right? I have to take the CD off and replace it. But the way that this works in the nervous system is that if we don't first make it difficult for you to feel anxious when you think about this particular event or idea or situation, if we don't make it difficult for you to feel anxious when you think about that first, your brain is going to be like, fuck this, I don't want to think this positive thought. And it's going to keep like hyperfixating on the anxiety that it has with this idea. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right? So here's what we metaphorically do. We take the CD called anxiety off the CD player. We take a needle and we scratch this back and forth again and 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 again. Scratch, 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 scratch. And you tell me, after you scratch the crap out of the CD with a needle or with a pen, whatever sharp object you want to use, what do you think is going to happen to this when you try to play this CD again? It will never play the same way again. And only then can we take the CD and throw it in the trash. Then we can replace it with a sound or the CD that we actually want to hear, with music that we actually want to hear. Now, which means we can now feel confident getting into our car. We can feel really good and excited getting into a relationship and being intimate again, right? We can feel really comfortable getting onto the plane. We can feel really good going into the mall. We can have fun Now, the whole point of doing this is not just to overcome the phobia of flights or the fear of driving or the fear of intimacy. The whole point is to have your entire life back. That's what we're after here. Because there was a phobia, a balloon phobia that I helped this woman overcome. I believe I have it on my YouTube channel, and it's definitely on my Instagram, but I can definitely make sure I put it everywhere for you to see, because I do this live stream with her, so I'll find out a way to get it there for you. But the point of the matter is, I went to her house. Long story short, in 25 minutes, we relieved this whole phobia. The same process I'll teach you how to do here as well. However, what happened was that it wasn't just like, oh, I'm not afraid of balloons anymore. But her and her husband and her dog, because it's like their little fur baby, right? They were able to go to weddings. They were able to go to birthday parties and graduations. And here's the thing, as I'm sure you feel familiar with in your own life, it's not like it was just about balloons and that's it. But her nervous system had generalized the anxiety out to different areas of her life, and it became what's known in culture as generalized anxiety. I'm not going to say disorder because it's not a fucking disorder. It's just a learned response. So it became generalized, meaning everything she thought about in her life, she started feeling anxious about. Because at first, she didn't know it was just about balloons. So she'd feel anxious about balloons, but then she'd see balloons in two different areas, and her brain's like, oh my god, it's the malls and it's the schools. And then she went to another place and she's like, oh my god, and it's with friends, and it's with driving. So then it became generalized everywhere. So it's not just about overcoming that specific fear and phobia. It's about reclaiming your life. Imagine if you're someone right now who has fear of intimacy because you've been raped maybe. Well, it's not just about overcoming that fear of being raped again, because no, if every time you went to have sex you were going to be abused, probably good to keep that fear, because that fear is going to prevent you from doing anything sexually or intimate, which is going to prevent you from being harmed. That's a good thing. Fear is meant to do that. But it's not meant to prevent us from experiencing all that life has to offer us, right? So what we really want to do is we want to get rid of that fear, phobia, or trauma, so that you can get rid of the fear and you can enjoy what life has to offer. If you have been through a sexual abuse, that doesn't make sense. If you've been through sexual abuse, which I have total compassion for you about, we want to help your brain get past the fear so that you can get back into a relationship and have a healthy, intimate life with that person. Same thing with driving. It's not just about the fear of driving. You want to be able to get into a car because getting into a car means you have freedom, right? To be with your family or just go where you want to go. Agoraphobia, same thing. You want to make sure that you can go out for a certain amount of times as long as you want to without wondering if you're going to get anxious again. The anticipation fear. So we want to make sure that you cover all of these areas. Now, here's the question. You're like, Tyler, great. How do I get past the phobia? Let's do this. Let's do it right now. There's only a few steps. Step number 1. We need you to think about 3 or 4 times when you felt exceptionally strong or confident or calm, right? Excited, anything like that. So here's what I want you to do. Close your eyes, nice deep breath in. Exhale. Think of one moment in your life where you felt exceptionally strong. It doesn't matter, it could have been yesterday, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Any moment where you felt really, really good. And as you do, as you feel it, just say yes with that same tone of voice. Yes. Step into that experience like you're there right now. See what you saw, hear what you heard, see who you were with, feel what you felt. And as you feel it, say yes. Say yes. Good. Now think of another moment in your life where you felt really proud maybe, just really proud. See what you saw back then. Hear what you heard. Feel what you felt and breathe the way that you were breathing then. When you feel it, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Perfect. Perfect. Now, as you're feeling really good, all I want you to do is imagine that you are sitting in a movie theater, all comfy in a movie theater, and I want you to see a movie screen in front of you. Okay? About 30 feet in front of you, I want you to see the movie screen. Now, while you're in this chair, feeling nice and comfy, I want you to imagine yourself floating out of your body into the projection room behind you in the movie theater. From here, I want you to see yourself down there looking up at the movie screen. In other words, you are looking at yourself looking up at the movie screen. And while you're seeing that, I want you to put the picture of whatever this phobia or trauma is for you up on the movie screen way out there in front of you. Okay? Stay nice and calm. And I want you to notice for the first time ever, you are looking at this image and you are feeling totally calm and comfortable. Say yes. Yes. Say yes. Say yes. There you go. Now what I want you to do is I want you to start at the beginning of this memory, this phobia, or this trauma on the movie screen in front of you. And I want you to just run that video or that memory forwards as if it's the way it was back then. But feel nice and comfortable. Say yes. There you go. Now I want you to go all the way through to the end. All right. Feeling nice and calm and comfortable. And come to the end now. Now all I want you to do is when I tell you, I want you to start at the very end of that memory or that phobia or that traumatic memory. And I want you to go all the way back before we do it. Say yes. Say yes. Good. Stay in this state. Now on the count of 3, watch that video start from the end and go all the way back. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Rewind it. Yes. Now you're at the beginning. Now all I want you to do is fast forward and rewind 10 times quickly. Ready, go. Fast forward. Oh, rewind. Rewind. Fast forward. Fast forward. Rewind. Everything's going backwards. If there's words people are saying, the words are coming back into people's mouths. Now fast forward. See people getting bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller. See rainbows all over people's faces. Now stop. Open your eyes. Now all I want you to do is take that big movie screen in your mind. Okay? Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. And shrink it down to the size of a penny. Go. Shrink it down. Now flicker it between black and white. Black and white, black and white. Now, open your eyes. Think about that moment or that memory or that phobia. Smile. Breathe. And notice how you feel. Not as intense, right? Good. Now close your eyes just for some extra keepsake, or safekeeping rather. I want you to push that really small penny-sized photo into the sunset in front of you. Almost to the point where you have to squint to see it. Now I want you to bring it over and above your head, and as you feel it going above your head, I want you to feel all the feelings shift and turn as you push it into the sunset behind you now. Once you see it touch the sunset, you know the sound a nail gun makes? Like, I want you to nail it back there. And when you know that feeling in that image can never come back, it's back there forever no matter how hard you try to pull it back, I want you to try to pull it back, but notice what happens instead. Now open your eyes. Think about that moment or that memory. Tell me how you feel in the comments below.